Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. Now I just got a question, and a person wanted me to now this question was about my last specific videos, about where we at as far as the solar system, and they wanted me to simplify it. So, you know what I'm saying, they get an understanding, they understood it a little bit, but I guess me talking about it as in case of us being in like a being and a body and stuff like that, and by the video being kind of long, that it kind of lost them in a perspective of how they're supposed to see it. So right now I'm gonna talk about it as astronomy wise first, and then bring you into it astrology wise. Now, our solar system. Now, where are we? You see what I'm saying? Now, as far as our solar system, now, look at it like this. We have a solar system, then our constellations, which is Aries through Pisces, is wrapped around our planetary, our 10 planets, which is the sun, moon, you know what I'm saying, Mercury, Venus. You see what I'm saying? So, look at it like this. We have planets, and these planets, including the sun and moon, created the many stars, constellations that's around it. So it's the body around it. So just look at Aries through Pisces as a 360. So look at it as us. We is one. That's one being. Look at that as one thing now. Look at that as one thing, right? Aries through Pisces and the planets within it. Look at that as one thing, right? Now, that's our solar system, aka / our constellation. But that's one thing. You see what I'm saying? So, with our solar system, the constellation we're actually a part of, because everything is greater, you know what I'm saying, or lesser. So, we're going to be in a greater constellation. You know what I'm saying? Now, the constellation that our solar system / mini constellation is a part of is the Centauri constellation. This is what all our stars is mingling around. So this is our, you can look at it like this is our next realm. But before we talk about it as astrology wise, we talking about astronomy. So our group of stars, as far as Aries through Pisces, and our planets, our 10 planets, is rotating, and we are a part of the constellation Centaurus. You see what I'm saying? So if you was to go do your research on Centaurus, you will find out that these are the closest stars, the closest constellation. And one of the brightest stars, we could only perceive it from 29 degrees below Earth. So that means Earth, we're on, as our position on the planet, Earth is part of a solar system, which is a part of that 10 planet system. You see what I'm saying? Now, if one of the brightest stars in Centaurus is under us, and then a lot of the stars from Centaurus is on top of us, so we got a bunch of stars under us, which is south. Do your research, and we got a bunch of Centauri stars on top of us. Then what did that tell you? We're in that constellation. See what I'm saying? So we're in the constellation of Centaurus. Now, Centaurus constellation is part of a greater constellation. That greater constellation we are a part of is the Draco constellation. You see what I'm saying? And we are at the bottom half. We make up, as far as the Centaurus constellation and our Aries through Pisces and our planets within the Aries through Pisces, we make up the tail end of the Draco constellation. This is why you won't find. This is why if you was to go on a website like Constellation on Words and go into the Centauri, go to the Centauri constellation, when you look at all the stars, all of them moving, none of them is fixed, because you can only click on 3 of them. Only 3 of them is highlighted to see how the fixed nature fixed on you. So it's only 3 stars that's really far away from us. But that distance is not really outside of us. We're in that. You see what I'm saying? So the stars that's not highlighted, but all the stars there is our home stars. This is what we are in, the Centauri constellation. Now, if you look at it, you see that it's halfway through Scorpio and midway through Sagittarius. So it's going towards the end of Scorpio stars and going towards the end of and going towards the middle of Sagittarius. So those group of stars that Centauri is a part of, Put the two and two together. If this is where our solar system is at, then it's letting you know what area of life we're playing at within the greater constellation, which is Draco, and we're within Centauri, which is on the tail end of Draco, and then we make up that half. So when you look at Draco constellation, you see it go through all our constellations, which is Aries, but it stops at what? Sagittarius. And then the part that is left off is actually the part where we're traveling through. This is why we say we're in the age of Aquarius. We just left the age of Pisces. After Aquarius, we go into the age of Capricorn. We're like doing a rotation, floating around the tail end of the Draco constellation. This is why our North Pole is Polaris. It used to be Thuban. You see what I'm saying? Which is in the Draco constellation. We're seeing outside of Draco because we're on the tail end, but we're inside that being. You see what I'm saying? And inside that being is the Centaur constellation. You know what I'm saying? And we're within that. And that's the tail end of the constellation. So when you see Draco constellation or constellation of words, when you see that it stops at Sagittarius and leave off the rest of Sagittarius and Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, is because reason why they don't got no stars there is because we make up that piece. So anytime somebody can't find something or they say it's unknown, it's because we in it. That's the part we're at. And if you put the two and two together, duh, when you look at the Centauri constellation, you see the group of stars is it starts in the middle of Scorpio and go all the way until like the beginning of Capricorn, and then the rest of our solar system in Aries through Pisces in so many shapes and forms is in a smaller aspect to how we see it in the tail end of the Draco constellation. You see what I'm saying? So we as a being, which is Aries through Pisces, and the sun through the solar system, is in the Centauri constellation, and the Centauri constellation is in the Draco constellation. So we're all in the Draco constellation. Now, let's talk about this as far as in astrology wise. Now, since our solar system right now is traveling on, like we are overall in a snake dragon like being. So all beings within this being, because group of stars create one whole star, one being, black hole, whatever like that. Same way you, all your organs and cells in you make up you. As above, so below. So micro, macro. So look at it like this. Now we are smaller versions of centaurs. You know what I'm saying? And we have ascended from nagas, from mermaids, or water serpents, or dragon, for whatever you want to call it. Because we are like the small life within the fluids of the big dragon-like being anyway. So all the life in it is snake dragon-like beings. All animals, bugs, humans, whatever you see in this reality is a form of a dragon. You know what I'm saying? Even centaurs. Nigga, everything. So, right now, since we are in the tail end, as far as we in the Centaur constellation in our solar system, Aries through Pisces, which is us and our planets, we are in the tail end of the Draco constellation. So we are building the conscious of legs, of being able to walk on land. You know what I'm saying? So we have reshaped our naga bottom animalistic part. Our bottom, we are the smaller versions of centaurs before we get to the fourth dimension, like our oversouls. You see what I'm saying? You are a smaller centaur. Your upper half is man. Your bottom half is animal. This is why you got the men, the real men, women-like signs, like the air signs in Virgo, but then Sagittarius will be one by honorable mention. This is why they have wisdom and knowledge and things of that nature. Because they have wisdom and knowledge about the lower natures and the desires. So when they see other people lost in their desires and lost in shit like that, Sagittarius may come across as preachy, or a person who's trying to give wisdom and knowledge to these people. But it's truly just a understanding of us being in the Centaur constellation, which is half man, half animal. This is what we are. You see what I'm saying? This is what you are. But overall, you are a dragon. You are a snake. This is a dragon-like. These are dragon snake features. Period. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we in the bottom half of the serpent of this Draco constellation. So the world that the Draco is seeing out of, the snake-like being, is walking on legs and things of that nature now. It been preceded us on that. You know what I'm saying? We're just on the level of seeing it from a centaur perspective. You see what I'm saying? We haven't even elevated as that yet. So, for an example, since we in the bottom half of the snake, you see the bottom half stars is the Centaur constellation. And then you look how a centaur look. But look, it's the bottom half. And then look with when the Draco stop, the constellation or constellation of words, when the stars stop, you see it stop at the mid Sagittarius, and then it goes into Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. What do Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces and Sagittarius represent in astrology when it comes to the body? Sagittarius represents the thighs. You know what I'm saying? It just left Scorpio. So that's the lower nature of animalistic traits. You can have sex and shit and bring spirits here with fluids and sperm and shit. That's lower shit. This is way other different lives than that. Don't get lost into thinking sperm is spirit type shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, motherfucking, but for the most part, yeah, just left that. We developed that. And then what you fail to realize is our legs is very new. We was like serpents like. We just learning this from centaurs. So think about it. Sagittarius is the thighs. Capricorn is the knees. The shins is Aquarius, the feet is Pisces. And then we're on the tail end of the Draco constellation, which is that snake serpent-like being. And then when you look on when you look at the star system that make up the tail end of the Draco constellation, it's the Centauri constellation, and we're within that with our Aries through Pisces constellation and our planets, right? And ain't that about a bitch? When you look at Centauri's constellation, it's through motherfucking Scorpio and Sagittarius. Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't we building the motherfucking legs? Don't you got some motherfucking legs? Ain't that about a bitch? So that's how you can correlate it with astrology. And this is how everything makes sense. So whether you want to say it's Greek, or you want to go to etymology and things of that nature, or this, that, and the third, fuck the words or whatever that nature, or fuck what you need to do is do a conscious 360. Figure out why these men and women even came up with these conclusions in the first place. Then figure out all the opposition conclusions. Then the most important conclusion is your own, because that's going to be your own thought, your own emotion and feeling. And then what accumulates out of all that is the truest sense that can never be brought up and can't be refuted. So once you reach that stage, you can utilize all the tools in front of you. You can utilize anybody's language, anybody's science, anybody's astrology, astronomy, anybody's worldview, anybody's consciousness, and be able to make sense out of what you're talking about. You could come in so many different ways, shapes, and forms because you come from the true essence of it. When you do that conscious 360, and the true essence of it truly have no language or words or anything to it. It's just like fire. I'm fire, baby. I could take your shape and form all day, but I am truly no shape and form. See, you have to truly understand that. Truly understand what Bruce Lee was saying. For real. So if I want to get my point across, I could come through any way, shape, or form. So if I want to use Greek names as far as centaurs and things of that nature, I bet you I could correlate it and see and tell you how it correlates to reality in real life. Your motherfucking ass got legs and you walking, right? And scientists, they believe in biogenesis or whatever, not biogenesis, but they believe in evolution and all the shit that tie into that. Religious people believe in creationists. Astrology is the true science religion, whatever, however you want to call it, and whatever. And whatever I just came up with, I explained scientists and religion. And I ain't even into science or religion. You see that? You see what astrology do? You gotta presuppose everything with astrology, motherfucker. This the hardest shit. And we gonna be that fight. Flight boss, bitch. And this is what God wanted us to do. And